Well, hello everybody, and welcome to our Sunday chat here, our live show. It's happening every week at 4 o'clock Pacific. That's 3 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. We have a bunch of pictures to go through. It's funny, Zach, when you give out your email address for people to send pictures to, they take you up on that offer. Before we get going any further, I just want to let you know that CanadaDrives.ca is where you want to go if you're looking for a used car. The whole process is done online. You shop online, you apply for credit online, you approve the vehicle that you want, and then they deliver it to you in a covered trailer the same day or the next day. In most areas, it's free, depending on how far away you are from their fulfillment center. British Columbia, all of BC is covered. All of Alberta is covered. And the southern part of Ontario, the GTA extended area, is part of that. So CanadaDrives.ca when you get a moment. Also, Car Cost Canada. Don't forget to sign up. Use the promo code MOTORMOUTH. Easy to remember. It's the name of the channel. And it opens up a bunch of free searches for you. You become an expert member, and then you can look for your dream new car. So Car Cost Canada is for new cars, and Canada Drives is for used cars. And there you go. All right. We have what's coming up this week. On Tuesday, we're going to have a comparison between the Kia Seltos and the new Toyota Corolla Cross. The Golf R video is coming out on Wednesday. And then on Saturday, the BMW X3 with the M40i package with the inline 6-cylinder. So that's all going to be coming up as we go through. All right. So let's get into some pictures first of all. Where are we? I'm going to find my... There we go. All right. Here's the first picture. This one comes from Sam. A picture of his Macan. I guess just getting picked up at the dealer. That's at FAF. Congratulations on the Macan. This one, not disrespecting anybody else's car, but this next one is my favorite. And when you see it, you'll know why. Look at that. Miami Blue, 2018 Porsche 911 GT3. And that has what I love. It's got ceramic brakes, which is very cool. But the biggest thing for me is that it has silver wheels. You know, everybody's getting like these dark gray wheels, these black wheels. That to me looks hot as hell. And Harj has had this. He doesn't have a lot of miles on it, but it's absolutely gorgeous. Love the color, love the wheels. The only thing I would like would be if it was the touring version, but that's just me. You know, can't have everything. Here's the next one. This is from Simon, who's actually got an X5 and is using it to trailer and to get his surfboards on top. That's an action shot there. Here's our next one. It comes from John, who watched the video I did a couple of years ago on the Corolla Hybrid, went out and bought one, but he's a smart guy because he changed the hubcaps. It's one of the downsides of the Corolla Hybrid is it only comes with hubcaps and it comes with no sunroof. You can't really do much about the sunroof, but he changed the wheels out, and I think that looks a lot better. All right, next one. This is a beauty as well. This is from Francois in Quebec. It has an M340 in San Marino blue. Is that gorgeous or what? See, now there's a car with the dark wheels. I understand that Francois likes it with the dark wheels. I think with silver wheels, it might actually look better. But that's just me. Are you guys down with silver wheels? I like silver wheels. I think they just are the best. And there's a longtime contributor here to the live show, Eric from Quebec. And he's got the special plate Autobahn for his new GTI. I think it's the first one. If you watch the GTI video, we said a shout out to Eric, who was one of the first in Quebec to get a GTI. Well, there it is. So congratulations to you, Eric. The next one comes from Nolan, who just picked this up. He was emailing me the other day asking about, you know, he's getting a used SQ5 from Open Road here in the Vancouver area, and what are the extra things that he should pay or not pay for in the business office. And I said, just pay the taxes and drive it away. So there you go. He's very happy with SQ5. The classic color looks fantastic. And then the last one is another. This looks really good in this color. It's the new Outlander. I haven't seen it in the white. That one looks really nice, doesn't it, with the big wheels? This is from Mark, south of the border. And before I forget, because I seem to always forget, you can send your picture to Zach at motormouth.ca. That's ZACK at motormouth.ca. And for our American friends, because it's Thanksgiving weekend, ZACK at motormouth.ca. Zach at motormouth.ca. All right, let's get into the questions. The first one comes from always first, or usually first. Barrick is saying, if you were in the market for a new Porsche sports car between the Boxster Cayman GTS 4.0 manual and the 992 GT3 Touring manual, which one would you take and why? That's got to be the easiest question so far. I would take the GT3. So don't be confused. The GT3 and the GTS both have 4-liter engines, not the same engine. Okay? So the GTS engine in the Boxster and the Cayman. So think the base model 911 engine without the turbochargers on it, and then they make the engine larger displacement. So I think it's 3 liters up to 4 liters, but no turbocharging. So that is really the essence of the GTS, is the base model 911 flat 6 engine with no turbos but a larger displacement. That's how you get to that 4-liter. The 4-liter engine that's in the GTS is a totally different animal. It revs all the way to 9,000 RPM. It's just one of those miraculous engines. And stay tuned, because coming up on Friday, the cool, fun, and collectible car that I do, I have a GT3 that I'm going to... Sorry, did I say G? Yeah, the GT3 has a very different engine. I will have a GT3 on Friday, an older one though. Hey Zach, what was your favorite car reveal from the LA Auto Show? Also, what is your first impression of the Mercedes EQS? Well, I didn't watch any reveals from the LA Auto Show. I have a few friends that went down, colleagues of mine who are in the business. A lot of them said it was pretty underwhelming, not a lot going on. There was a lot of brands that were just not there. So it really wasn't a big show. We're still trying to get our feet under us when it comes to auto shows, and a lot of brands I don't think are going to go rushing back. What's my initial impression of the EQS? Well, I have to actually get in it and drive it. To me, it's filled with gimmicks. And the same thing with the latest S-Class that we drove. I like the S-Class, but I thought they did a lot of things just to try to compete with, say, Tesla, with the big screens and all that. Like, Mercedes-Benz should just do what they do well, which is produce classy cars. And in the case of the EQS with the big digital dashboard, I just think it's too much. And I'm not sure how it's going to hold up in the long run. All right. The other thing I forgot to mention, if you just have to get a question answered, you can always do a super chat like my T-Bird did. This is from my T-Bird. No question. Just a live chat, which supports the channel. So we thank you for that. How is General Motors handling the chip shortage? Appears things are improving, yet they announced that many models will be made without heated seats and heated steering wheel. Not good for our winter. Yeah, I mentioned that the last couple of shows. General Motors has said they're getting rid of heated seats in all but their highest end trims and all but their full-size pickup trucks. They're putting all of the chips they have into full-size trucks, whether they're Escalades, Tahoes, Suburbans, and the Silverado and the Sierra, because that's where they make all their cash. So what you'll see is General Motors was not able to sell quite a large percentage of vehicles because of the chip shortage, but their profits won't be down that much because they're not having to discount any cars, and the cars that are being fulfilled to dealerships are the most expensive ones with the highest margins. I just heard my phone go off. I'm just going to turn it down. Someone's sending me a Facebook message. Hang on a second here. Notifications off. All right. So the chip shortage, all the articles I'm reading about it is we're in the sort of worst of it now, and we're going to start to see light at the end of the tunnel finally starting to appear as we go into the first quarter of 2022, and hopefully we'll be have full chip production by the summer. But that won't get rid of the backlog. That won't get rid of all of the existing orders and all of the other things that people are waiting on. Toyota has said the worst of the chip shortage for them is now past. They had much reduced output for September, October, and part of November, and they think by December they'll be back at full capacity again. Volkswagen is just going into it now. They've had pretty good inventories on their dealer lots as we've gone through the summer and into the fall. They've had a big uptick in market share because they actually had cars to sell when other brands did not. So that's worked in their favor. But now they're getting into a real kind of slowdown at Volkswagen and Audi. So it's going to be affecting them for the next little while. Here's a Leafs fan. Can you make a Mazda 3 hatchback turbo video? There is one on the channel. There's already one there. Can you make a 2022 Supra? There's a Supra video on the channel. And Honda Insight. Honda Insight is no longer for sale. It has been cut from the lineup. Hey Zach, for an Audi purchase, do you think it's worth to getting the MMI nav package with the digital cockpit? Does Apple CarPlay and Android Auto could be an alternative? Thanks. Yeah, listen, how often do you really use navigation? I mean, if you're somebody that's traveling a lot and you're in your car all the time and you're using navigation regularly, yeah, it might be worth the investment. But you can get around that, as you mentioned, with Apple and Android. The hard news flash is most people drive to the same place every day, or they drive to the same half dozen places regularly. When you're using navigation is when you're somewhere new, and you'll have that with that car. So it depends on your budget. You can easily get away without having it embedded in the head unit. In fact, I think it's better to have it done from your phone because you've got the latest maps. Now, are you going to miss the digital cockpit? I think personally, Andrea loves them. She thinks they're great. It's the eye candy. To me, I think they're kind of gimmicky because this is what I think happens with a digital cockpit. You set it and then you forget it and you just kind of leave it there. The reason why they're going to these digital cockpits, it's cheaper. Now, that's all based on the premise they can get the chips to make them. But if they can and the supply is there, I think putting screens in cars is actually cheaper for manufacturers. Are more expensive leathers like Napa leather from Mercedes and BMW more prone to dents and creases from car seats? I think any leather that you have is prone to creases. This is what I did when we had a 7 Series BMW. And yeah, we had a 7 Series, we had two 7 Series BMW, and then we had an X5 when our guys were little in car seats. I took a piece of cardboard, fairly thick cardboard, and I cut it out so it fit inside the seat of the car. And then I put a towel on top of that. And then I put the car seat in and I really cinched it in. And so what you're doing is you're spreading the weight of the car seat out over greater area, so you're not getting those defined dents in the leather. So that's one way you can get around it, is so basically with thick cardboard, just spread the load out over more of the seat, and that will definitely make a big difference. That's what I did, and it seemed to work. All right, we got some other super chats. I love super chats. Hey Zach, what's your take on the Jetta GLI manual versus the Golf GTI manual for 2021? Also, the Mark 8 Golf much better. I think okay. There's somebody that was messaging me on Instagram, and he's had a couple of handfuls of Volkswagens and GTIs. He's in the Waterloo area. He went to the dealer, and of course the dealer treats him well because he's bought so many Volkswagens. And they got their first shipments of GTIs in, and he actually was allowed to drive it. And he drove it, and I said to him, what do you think of it? He couldn't believe how much better it drives than the older model. Now, you've got the digital instrument cluster and the haptic feedback switches and all that kind of stuff. That's a learning curve. In my opinion, it's not as good as the old buttons and dials, but the car itself, I think, is improved. If you're not in a rush, there is going to be a new GLI based on this same philosophy with the GTI coming out in the next few months, okay, and then probably in the first quarter of 2022. So a new Jetta is arriving shortly, and then the GLI version. The GLI, in my opinion, offers more value. It's a bigger car, though, so there's good value with the GLI. There always has been, and I think if you look at the way that Volkswagen has positioned the latest Mark 8 GTI, they've done a really, really good job with pricing, like an excellent job. $31,500 for that new GTI. That's a really good deal. And the GLI is cheaper. So you'll get all of that goodness, the 240 plus horsepower, and in a price that I think is going to be around 30 grand. So that's good stuff. If you don't like the new interior of the latest GTI, then maybe pick up one of the current GLIs. There might be, now there's not going to be any deals. There's nobody giving deals. This is from Norbert. The VW intro you were at 2 weeks ago had 4 different vehicles. How much did VW give you with each vehicle? Okay, so we were there for 3 full days. So we actually had some time with, and you got to remember that the Golf and the Golf R, other than the drivetrain, is the same car inside. So you could say we doubled up on the interior interaction we had with the car. The new Tiguan, we had, we were there for 3 full days, and then we had the ID4. So we weren't there just for like a couple of hours. So what we did was, on the first day, we did all of our shooting of the cars driving by, shot them all out, got in and out of the cars for a full day. The second day, we did a lot of our on-camera work, so we did a bunch of them on the next day, and then the last day we did the ID4. So we were around them quite a bit. Hi, Zach. Your couple car reviews are great. It's a good perspective from 2 people for same car. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate that. That's nice of you to hear. It seems that we're getting a lot of feedback from people who really like the idea of having Andrew and I doing the videos together. It's totally different than what is out there. I mean, you've got a lot of the new trend now in the auto review scene, and YouTube are the buddy reviews, and you're seeing more channels pop up like that. Ours is different because we're buddies, but we're married. James is here. Thoughts on the Rivian and all electric cars becoming paperweights after 15 years. It's a 6,000 pound truck, same size as a Tacoma. It's interesting. I was just out walking the dog, and there's a fellow lives near me, a doctor, and he's walking his dog, and he has a cabin way up in the interior of British Columbia, and they have like a 2,500 pickup truck. And he was asking about the Ford, F-150 Lightning. He said, when are you going to get a chance to drive it? I said, I don't know. And I said, well, he says, what do you think about it? I said, it's going to be too expensive. That's the problem with these things. They're going to be too expensive. And to your point, the Rivian, at least with the F-150 Lightning, I mean, you're getting an F-150. That's a proper sized truck. Depends what you're doing with it. But yeah. I think there's a lot of froth in the market about the excitement of these things. We'll have to wait and see until we have to wait until we get our hands on them. Hey, there's my old friend, Charlottetown Spud. Purchased a Honda Odyssey in 2016 for $30,500. Base model now starts at $43,000. $12,000 is a huge increase. Is it all the safety tech to blame? No. Listen. You've got your Civic Type R on your thumbnail there. For whatever reason, Honda thinks that they can just keep charging more for their vehicles. I'm not sure what they're up to, but I don't think their cars demand the prices that they're charging for them. I mean, their cars are getting expensive. I'm not sure what their product planning department is doing with these prices, but a Honda Odyssey minivan at 42 grand, forget about it. You know my thoughts on minivans. It's a box on wheels. And you should get the cheapest box on wheels you can. Because what are you doing with a minivan? You're carting around snotty-nosed kids that are going to thrash the thing. So why people spend 50, 60 grand on a minivan is beyond me. I think it's a total waste of money. My brother always says, yeah, but, we do long-distance trips in ours. I'm like, yeah, but what do you really need in a minivan? He likes the automatic cruise control. Well, spring for that. But other than that, I think it's a waste of money. Another super chat from Phil. Come on, you can do it, Zach. Where's Phil? There you go. Thanks for the great content. Based on all your info, just bought a 2021 Cayman S. Love it so far. Well, hallelujah, brother. Congrats. First of all, congrats getting one. That really is something else. And that is a wonderful, wonderful machine. Well done, brother. Good on you. It's good. You work hard. You get ahead in life. You have a nice car like that. No question, but I think I see a question here below. Planning to upgrade. CX-9 looks pretty promising. Should I go get another RX or CX-9? Thoughts? The CX-9, I'm trying to remember what the turnaround is on that. It's coming to the end of its life. Put it this way, it's at the end of its run. So is the RX. The RX is at the end of its run. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with getting an existing product that's available, that has been in the market for a few years. There's a lot to be said for cars that have been out for a few years and the bugs have been worked out of them. You might be aware that Mazda has been given the crown from Consumer Reports as their most reliable car. Part of that is because they have 6-speed automatic transmissions. They've got a lot of naturally aspirated engines. Not the case with the CX-9, of course, that's turbocharged, but the basic engine is the same across all of their vehicles, either the 2-liter, the 2.5-liter, or the 2.5 turbo, all basically the same engine, just varying in the way that they do it. Their SkyActiv technology has been out for many years, and the 6-speed automatic transmission has been out for years, and now they've just updated the head unit on the CX-9. It seems to be a little bit quicker than the past, and it's a bigger screen and all that. There's a lot to like about it, especially when you go up there and you get the GT or the Signature trim. They have beautiful interiors. In my opinion, they look premium. So yeah, I think there's probably a better case for your money going towards the Mazda than the Lexus. The Lexus is a fine product, but yeah, my advice would be go and drive them both. If you're talking about the RX long wheelbase, I would pass on that. That's really not a 3-row utility. If you're looking for a 3-row utility, probably the Mazda would be a better choice. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. All right, where was I? Here's our pal Jerome from Quebec. Rivian R1T doesn't have hill descent control or hill stop. Technically, is it possible for Rivian to add it as an update via cloud, or technically more complicated? It's a software thing. If you think about it, an electric vehicle, just in the fact that it uses regenerative braking, should be able to do low speed crawling downhill, because if you're using the regen braking, you can regen brake depending on the system and how theirs work all the way down to 0 kilometers an hour. So you think about it going down a hill and you have maximum regen, could act like hill descent control. So that's something that they might have up their sleeve. But yes, because it's all computers and the control module and electric motors, it certainly could be added as an upgrade. But the other question is, how often are you using hill descent control? I mean, I've had many vehicles with hill descent control. I've never touched it because I don't need it. But I think you could do the same thing with the engine braking from an electric car. Here's a good question from Julie. Will you be doing a top 10 cars this year? Yes, we will. Andrew and I were just talking about this over coffee this morning. We're going to do a bunch of videos, not a bunch of videos, we're going to do several videos, put it that way. I think we're going to do one on our favorite interiors, our top 10 cars. We might do a few of our favorite features, stuff like that. So there's going to be, and we're going to put those out through the holidays because we want to get a bit of a break. These are videos we can do in advance, and we'll have some car reviews during the Christmas break between Christmas and New Year's, but we're also going to add in some of our sort of end of year ones as well. This is replying to the Audi question about getting the navigation. Don't get baited into overpriced nav package. Waze, maps, plans work fine and take a very small amount of data. Yeah, I think that the days of having an in-dash navigation unit is almost useless. I think the bigger question is if you want the digital dashboard in an Audi. Here's Carter. Enjoyed the GTI video. How is the manual shifter on this gen? Still precise even though throws are longer than Japanese shifters? I found it fine. We didn't spend a lot of time with the manual because they were there for us to drive. We did drive them, but we spent more time with the dual clutch because it's just easier for us to shoot that way. So Andrea is driving by with the car while I'm shooting, and she's now driving stick, but it's just a lot more relaxing to use the automatic, because we had to shoot we had to shoot 4 cars in a short period of time. So that's why we chose the manuals. It was more just easier for us. We did drive them. I found it was fine. They were great. And the manual has been reworked. Not sure what changes they made, but they have reworked it a bit. What are your thoughts on manufacturers not having heated seats mandatory? Well, they can do whatever they want. Mandatory features are usually safety features, and that is not a safety feature. Is there a benefit to plug-in hybrid versus hybrid vehicles? Should one always go for the plug-in instead? No, I've been saying this for a long time, that I believe that for the vast majority of people, if you're wanting to dip your toes into getting some kind of electrified vehicle, I think for most people, a hybrid vehicle will give you instant savings, and the barrier to get one is much, much lower. So if you're going to get a plug-in hybrid vehicle, often the costs are much more expensive, but you can get into a regular hybrid vehicle for minimal upsell. The one I always talk about is the RAV4. I think it's under $2,000 to go from the gas model to the hybrid. But then if you go into the plug-in, it's quite a bit more money. Now, when you start factoring in rebates, electric rebates, for certain models, sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. But I think for a majority of people, you start saving money right away, and the barrier to entry is really quite low. So that's why I like hybrids. All right, we have another super chat, which you know Zach loves. Zach loves that. All right, where was I here? No question. But I'll take the super chat. Thank you very much. You can do either. You can ask a question, or you can just do a super chat. If you just want to get your name on the screen, that's cool too. All right, where are we here? We're almost 300 people on board right now. So I'd love if we could get more thumbs up. We're at 61 thumbs up right now, so that's great. Here's one from Dan. Is Toyota Sienna the best van for someone planning to own at least 10 years? Okay, so the Sienna minivan now is just a hybrid only. Okay, so you can't get the V6 any longer. Depends what you're going to use it for. If you're going to be doing, are you going to be using the van for a lot of people? If you're going to use all 7 or 8 seats on a regular basis, and if you're going to be doing longer trips, and you're going to be, putting more strain on the car, it wouldn't be my choice, because I found that the van is heavy, and then when you load it up with people and stuff, it's not that rewarding to drive. It can be kind of buzzy. There are V6 vans in the marketplace, but if you're just using it for cruising around, dropping kids off at hockey and soccer and football and ballet and all of those sorts of things, and you're just using it for a couple of kids and maybe a couple of extra kids on occasion, and you're driving it mostly in the city, absolutely the Sienna will do a great job, and absolutely will give you 10 years of service, no problem at all, and absolutely it will deliver incredible fuel economy. So absolutely get it if that's your requirement. If you're doing a lot of highway driving, if you're loading it up, just try it first. That's my advice. Hi, Zach. The LA Auto Show still looks like the industry wants to go back to normal with these live events. Do you think we are almost back? No, we're not. The car companies are not going to be running back to do live shows. There's going to be some brands that go back, because a lot of the legacy brands, the Detroit 3, they're going to be there. There's going to be some brands, but a lot of the German brands are not taking part in auto shows. Some of them aren't even taking part in European shows. So what was it? I can't remember. The fall of 19. We were supposed to go to the Paris Auto Show, which alternates with the Frankfurt Motor Show, which is the biggest auto show every other year, right? And usually go with Volkswagen. And I said, are we going to go to Paris for the auto show this year? And they said, no, Volkswagen isn't taking part in the Paris Auto Show. It's the biggest auto show of that year. And then the next year it would be Frankfurt. They didn't even take part. So there you go. Things are changing. Jerome is saying, hit the like button to pay respect. It's like pressing F. If you know, you know. I don't know. Jerome, I don't know. Send me an email. Hello, Zach. Z94.5 FM second place karaoke guy here. Kiss a Fool. Lost to the I Will Always Love You rating. Do you remember? Paul, I'd love to tell you that I remember, but I don't. Yeah, I used to be a disc jockey on Z95.3 or Z95.3 here in Vancouver. I mean, when you're a disc jockey, you do a lot of emceeing gigs at different events. So karaoke. Paul, tell me where it was. Where was it, at a club somewhere or something? Hey, Zach, just went to look at the new SI here in Toronto. Asked why it didn't come with heated seats. Well, that's a shocker. I have a Civic 2006. I'm so poor. Listen, you've got a Ford W8. Your name is Mustang W8 Ford. So obviously you've had a Mustang or you're pining for a Mustang. Have you heard anything about the new Honda CR-V hybrid? The RAV4 hybrid doesn't have good interior. Not sure about the reliability of the Tucson. Yeah, so that's the big question about the Tucson, is what's it going to be like long term? Because it's a great vehicle. We really enjoyed it. It's certainly in the running for our top vehicle this year. What I think is going to happen is CR-V, because the CR-V is based on the Civic platform. It historically has been. And now we've got a new Civic. You can see the design language on the outside of the Civic. You can see the interior of the new Civic. That's kind of going to be what we're going to see from Honda moving forward. So a new CR-V isn't that far away. I would say easily by the fall of next year. And then that will be the opportunity for Honda to bring in a hybrid finally here to the Canadian markets. We don't have a hybrid. So you're right. If I was a CR-V fan, and it's a great product, I would wait, because there is going to be a new one. Got a bunch of super chats coming in all at once, which I love. Love the super chats. Oh, here's Nolan, who just got the SQ5. Thanks for you and Andrea's insights. Loving the SQ5 so far. I watched your 2014 review like 10 times. That's awesome. So well done. Yeah, SQ5. He was one of the pictures at the very beginning. Well done. This is from Josh, sent in a live chat. Thank you very much. And Charlottetown Spud's back again. Your opinion when it comes to the car brand has the most impressive lineup. Your opinion when it comes to which car brand has the most impressive lineup. I really like Hondas, but not the prices. I think Hyundai has a great bang for the buck, but some of the styling is questionable. Listen, I think that I'm kind of liking a lot of the Kia stuff myself, just because I like the way they go about their interiors a little bit more. As much as I like the Santa Fe with all the buttons, and the video just dropped yesterday, I do like that. I do like more of the conventional shifter that they have in the Kia products. I saw pictures of the new Sportage. If you're from the United States, you call it Sportage. For whatever reason, we're not sure. But we call it Sportage here in Canada because, you know, we're a little French. Or we're a lot French, depending on where you live. And the interior of that, if you haven't seen it, Google Kia Sportage or Sportage and look at the interior pictures of it. It's got a beautiful dash. Looks very similar to the Carnival dash, but then a proper shifter. I really like what they're doing, but I'm with you. I think Honda is really kind of losing its way. So the new Civic is fantastic. We liked it a lot, but I don't like it at that price. I just think it's overpriced. That's my opinion. I think they could certainly do a better job on pricing, but they won't adjust their MSRP, but what they might have to do is incentivize their cars, right? And maybe they're thinking there's just no cars for sale, so people will pay full retail. And as we go along in year 2 and 3, when there's more supply available, then they'll just put incentives on the hood. I'm not sure what the theory is behind that, but an interesting thing is that you start looking at Corolla, for example, and you start looking at the Civic, and the difference in price is astronomically different. Like, it's really shocking, the difference in price. All right, where was I? Sorry, guys. I got to find out where it is. This is the problem with this. The program I use to get the questions on the screen, I got to go to the super chats and then try and remember where I was. All right, here. I've caught up where I was. So this is a response to, we were talking about the GT3 picture I had up earlier with the silver wheels, which I just love. So I'm not sure saying no, you like silver wheels, or no, silver wheels are good. Anyway, I like silver wheels. Have you actually seen or driven the Ford Lightning in person? Any first impressions? There was a Lightning walk around they did in Toronto at the Oakville production facility. Unfortunately, due to COVID restrictions, Ford wasn't flying anybody out for that, so we didn't get a chance to touch it and see it. No, there's nobody really driven it yet. We'll have to wait and see. Alex is saying not a fan of black wheels. I don't like black wheels. Okay, Jerome is saying he likes silver wheels with black accents. I'll take silver wheels. I like silver wheels. I like silver or gunmetal wheels. Gunmetal's good. The satin look. Remember the E39 M5 was the first car I remember that had the satin colored wheels. Those were pretty nice. Actually, we just changed. I just changed the wheels on our Cayenne from the silver wheels to the RS Spider wheels, which are this gray color. That's about as. I bought them just because I needed an extra set of wheels for the winter wheels, but that's about as dark as I'd go. Any thoughts on the Hyundai Ioniq 5? Well, here is a news flash. Andrea and I, we're going to California. We're going to San Diego on the 13th of December, my birthday. And we're going to be driving the Ioniq 5. And then we're going to be back. And the video will be out on December 17th. So December 17th is when the Ioniq 5 video will be out. So we're actually going for the very first time since COVID outside of Canada for... actually first time outside of Canada in almost 2 years. So that's going to be kind of fun. And the reason we're going is you don't have to do a COVID test anymore to come back if you come back within 72 hours. And we're always back on our press launches within 72 hours. Greetings from Peru. Do you prefer front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive manual as a daily driver? It depends what the car is. I mean, as if it's a performance sort of sedan or performance car, I'll take rear-wheel drive. If it's just a little economy vehicle to bomb around town like a GTI, I got no problem with front-wheel drive. And then you always have to put on the right tires depending on what you're using it for. Why can't muscle cars be smaller like Porsche? The one thing I like about the Mustang is the Mustang isn't as big as its competitors. It's smaller. That's one of the reasons I like that car. So I think it's not too grotesquely large. The new Toyota 86 is not that big. A Miata is small, but they're not muscle cars. Sean is saying, someone's replying to Francois's car that he has, the blue M340 we did at the beginning. Oh, he's got the same one with other wheels. All right, send it in. JD, always look forward to the Sunday at 4 p.m. I purchased last week a 2021.5 Mazda CX-5 GS with Comfort Pack. In BC, I chose not to go with Turbo GT option because afraid of Turbo's long-term reliability. Well, there you go. I mean, that's what people always ask me, and they say, you know, I don't know if I should buy this car because it's got a continuously variable transmission, or I don't know if I should buy this car because it's got a turbo about long-term reliability. I don't know if I should buy this car. And I say, well, don't buy it. If you're that concerned about it, don't buy it. Do what JD did. He bought a CX-5 without the turbo. If you're concerned about the turbo, buy the one without the turbo. If you don't like a car with a CVT, don't complain. Just buy another car. It's not that hard. But a lot of people want us to validate what they want to buy. And, well, what do you think it's going to be like? What do you think the 10-year reliability? I don't know what it's going to be like in 10 years. Nobody does. We have to wait. That's the thing. You can look back and see how a brand has performed in the past, but there are no guarantees in life. By the way, JD, we just booked that car to get back for a test drive because they changed the infotainment screen halfway through the year. That's why he said he bought a 21.5, and that's the one you want to get because the infotainment screen on the old one, she was slow. So we're going to check it out and see if it's better. And it's also just a good chance to get back in that car because it's so popular and we really like it. So well done. Good choice. Trading, oh, here's a CX-5. Trading my CX-5 with no sunroof, no climate for a Kuro. Making $6,000 off the deal. Holy crap. Worth it just to buy back my existing 17. It only has 34,000 kilometers. We'll take that deal all day long, dude. So wait a second. Let me just go through this again. You have a 17 CX-5, no sunroof, no climate. How do you have a car with no climate? 2021 CX-5 Kuro, that's the high-end one, making 6,000 Canadian off the deal. Worth it, just buy back my existing 17. I don't understand what your question is. All I can tell you is if you're making 6 G's off the deal and you're getting the newer version that's nicer, that's a bit of a no-brainer. The nice thing in Canada, this is very different in the United States. It's against the law to sell a car over MSRP. And I'm getting all kinds of notifications and comments from people saying, oh, that's great, but the dealers are charging 10 or 15,000 over retail if you want to buy one. In Canada, you're not allowed to do that. So the good news is, if you have a fairly recent car, like the 2017 CX-5 with low kilometers on it, I think it's a 35,000 K on it, nothing, right? That is a very valuable used car. So the people will overpay for a used car, but they're not allowed to jack the price up of the new one. So sometimes the difference to walk out of your used car into a new car right now, because of the current conditions that are in the marketplace, it's actually not bad. If you can get the car, that's the big deal. So if you have a car that's 3 or 4 years old, you might actually want to see what it's worth in the marketplace, because you might be able to move up into a new car and get the latest and the newest, and it won't cost you that much. Here's Bruce. I'm selling my Golf R due to financial reasons. I have to get a cheaper car. Under 17.5, I'm thinking about a Mazda 3, a Golf 18, a Civic Hatch. What do you think are reliable choices? Well, the Civic Hatchback is going to be the most reliable of the bunch. If you can get the Civic Hatchback with the 2-liter engine, not the turbo, that one is a great car. So it's going to feel very slow compared to a Golf R, but that would be my choice if you're talking about those ones. And also the Mazda 3 isn't a bad choice either, but if it's just purely because of reliability, get the Civic with the 2-liter engine, not the 1.5, and have at it. And they were even available, I believe, in the hatch with a manual. So that's something you might want to entertain. What other vehicles could you look at? You know what? Instead of getting like an 18 Golf, you might want to look at an older, like a Lexus IS. Now you're gonna have to go a bit older, but they're very, very reliable cars. And if you can find one right around $20,000 used, you're gonna have options there, sold with, depending what year it is, 2 or 3 different engines available. So that might be something to consider. Or I'll tell you what. Here's an idea. If you're trying to save money and you want to buy a reliable car, you might be better off to buy what everybody else isn't buying, and that is a mid-size sedan. People are just not buying mid-size sedans anymore. But and I know that there's some great choices out there. There's the Accord, there's the Camry, there's the Mazda 6, which was available with the turbocharged engine. There's a car that you just don't see around much. So look where people aren't looking, and people aren't looking at mid-sized cars. So you might be able to get a quite comfortable, kind of fun car that you might get a pretty good deal on. So it's something to chew on. See if I missed any here. I got a sticker from Grant. Pair character cheerfully blowing up a party horn. I don't know. It doesn't show up on my application here, Ecamm Live, but you guys see it in the chat, so that's cool. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's one of the things that I say to people, if you have to buy a car right now and you're really frustrated by the prices, you're really frustrated by the availability, look where people aren't looking. And right now it's sedans. Unfortunately, people just think they got to have an SUV, but there are even available all-wheel drive sedans. You know, like you think about, is anybody looking at a Subaru Legacy car? No, but it's the same technology they have in their SUVs. It's just in a car. The problem is they weren't selling, and so there may be not that many out there. But if you're willing to look around, you might be able to find a deal. All right, where am I here? Okay. Sorry, I got to find out where it was. This is the main bugaboo of this system. Okay, here we go. We're at Stephen Wong now. Should we get the normal Corolla or hybrid? I'm worried about electric motor braking and less cargo space. You do not have to worry about either of those because the hybrid system. Listen, the Toyota Prius is basically what it is. You're getting the Prius hybrid system in a Corolla. Is absolutely bulletproof. All right. There's really no worry about that. Actually, Consumer Reports, not that I'm a huge Consumer Reports fan, but it is a data set that you can look at. They just came out with their most and least reliable vehicles and their most and least reliable categories. The least reliable category are full electric EV SUVs. So think about the players. The Mach-E, brand new technology. You've got the Model Y, and you've got the new ID4. So those are the real three main electric vehicles. Okay, they're at the very bottom of their study. And then you look at the vehicles with the highest ratings, as I mentioned a moment ago. Mazda, they put at the very top, next to Lexus. Toyota's way up there as well. Also in the above average was Mini. A lot of people crap on Mini. Mini apparently is doing something right. Even Consumer Reports says that. And if you go and look at Consumer Reports, their vehicles that they say are the most reliable. I've mentioned it before. I'll mention it again. I've been mentioning it for years. Buick index is way above the industry average when it comes to quality. There's a brand most people don't even think of to buy, but if you're looking for a quality car, GM can do it. GM is doing it. GM has been doing it with the Buick division for many years. Like I would say 10 years. They've been doing a good job with their quality on Buick. All right. Now, the most reliable category, the least reliable were battery electric SUVs. The most reliable were hybrids. And those are the vehicles that have the gas and the electric motor, not plug-in hybrids, just straight hybrids. So that's dominated by Toyota. That's dominated by vehicles like the Prius that are just absolutely bulletproof. My brother has a Prius, absolutely loves it. It's the same technology, but in a Corolla. So don't worry about the hybrid system that's in that car. Buy it, drive it, forget about it. All you need to do is put gas in it once in a while, and you'll be absolutely no problem. Also, the cargo space. From memory, I think they put the battery under the rear seat, so you don't lose any cargo space. So it's a win-win. And if I was buying a Corolla sedan, that's the one I would buy. The only problem is, I mentioned earlier, was in our live show picture segment. Somebody sent in a picture of their Corolla. It's only available in Canada with hubcaps and steel wheels, no alloy wheels. It's not available with a sunroof. Sunroof I could care less about. But the first thing I would do is I'd be going on Kijiji or Craigslist or somewhere and getting some Toyota alloy wheels and putting them on there. Okay? Daniel, are 19 or higher wheels more prone to getting a flat tire? What do you think the most top trims having these large wheel sizes? Why? What do you think of most top trims? Listen, it's style. It's driven by style. Big wheels look better. People like the way they look. People don't really do the math on this. There's a perfect example. We were, my oldest Jack was playing soccer on a team, and one of a friend of ours, they had always had Acuras and Hondas, and he got his first premium car, which was an Audi A4. And we were at the soccer game, and I said, "Oh, have you got winter tires for your Audi?" And he's like, "Why?" And I said, "Well, you have the S line on your Audi A4, which gets you the bigger wheels, but they're also summer performance tires." And he was like, "What?" And when a big snowstorm was coming in, 10, 15 centimeters or 8 inches of snow. And I said, and he drives quite a distance to work every day out in the suburbs. And He was like, what do you mean? I don't have all seasons? And I said, no. So a lot of people get sucked into the look because bigger wheels look better. I'm the first guy to admit it. I want bigger wheels on my car because I think they look better. But I'm also somebody that invests in the proper tires. I just told you earlier, I swapped out our 20-inch wheels on our Cayenne for our 20-inch winter tires. I have 21-inch tires on my Cayenne GTS, and soon to be arriving any day now. Apparently the tires have arrived from Japan, and I'm waiting on them. From Toyo, are 21-inch winter tires, which are big-ass winter tires. But I just want to have the right tire for the job. So will you get flats more often? Depends on where you live and the kind of potholes you have to deal with. If you go crashing into a big pothole with a tire that doesn't have a lot of side cushion on it, you can dent the rim, you can blow out the tire. It doesn't happen that often. So honestly, just drive to the conditions. What are your thoughts on the 18 Tiguan? I am not a huge fan of that generation because the new one is so much better. My God, that was one of the big, like the new products that we drove from Volkswagen when we were at Niagara on the Lake a couple of weeks ago. The new GTI just drives so much better. The Golf R is fantastic, but now it's better than it was. The Tiguan was the big shocker. That thing really surprised me. They did a really good job. Now, if you can't afford a new one, I get it. You want to drive whatever one you're going to take out and see if you can live with the way that the transmission and the engine talk to each other. It's just all computer controlled. And I didn't love it. It kind of stumbled at times. The new one is vastly improved, so that is very good news. All right, we got 380 people on board, 150 thumbs up. We could do more. That would be great. Stephen again, can my Civic's 14-inch snow tires fit a new Corolla? They could, but probably not. I think the wheels on a Corolla are 15 inches, from what I remember. Oh, this was a soup. Did I miss this one? AP says, no question, just thanks for all the content. Well, that is very much appreciated. You recently did a video, this was on Friday, a 535 manual with the N54. Do you think a low mileage E92 coupe in manual, no Navi unit and rear wheel drive appreciation in coming years? An E92, the E92 was the 3 Series, right? Coupe, let me just check this because I can't remember everything. I think it is. BMW E92. Yeah, it's the coupe. That's the 3 Series. Do you think a low mileage E90 coupe manual? No, yeah, yes, I think it will appreciate in coming years. I thought I had a picture of it. I put a video out on Friday of a BMW 535 manual transmission, all-wheel drive with roughly 100,000 kilometers on it, or 63,000 miles. A local Vancouver car, one owner, full service history. It's going to go on Bring a Trailer. The last one that went through Bring a Trailer pulled huge dough. There was only 660 of these things sold in all of North America. Now, an E92 with that same engine, with the 300 horsepower, 300 pound-feet of torque, manual transmission, rear-wheel drive, there will be more of those around, but not huge numbers. So if you guys know my colleague Brian Chow from Everyday Reviews, he had that exact same car. He wishes he had kept it. It was beautiful. It was an Estoril blue, 335, manual transmission, rear-wheel drive. It was absolutely gorgeous, and he wishes he hadn't gotten rid of it. So will it be worth good money in the future? I believe it will. The iDrive thing, I think for a purist that wants a fun car, I don't think that matters either way. But yeah, that's a nice car, a really nice car. An interesting story, Brian was at the big BMW dealer here, Brian Jessel's. He was doing some video for them. And Steve Dinan, who started the whole company, the Dinan Performance division, he was there doing an event, and that's what Brian was there to videotape. And he said to him, "Oh, I've got a 335. I'd like to have the dine-in package put on at stage one. And he says, well, we'll bring it around the back and we'll do it. Yeah. So you have Steve Dinan himself gets it in your car. That's pretty good. It went like hell, man. It went like hell. When will the new Sportage launch in Canada? I have been emailing Kia. I don't know exactly. The first ones haven't even arrived yet really in North America, so we'll have to wait and see. The new Civic Si has heated front and rear seats and a heated steering wheel. I'm not sure what that's about. All right. Hey, Zach, love the show. Would you prefer the G70 or the BMW X3? Do you mean the GV70 or the X3? If you're just talking base model to base model, I think the GV70 offers a nicer interior. Yeah, I think the interior of the GV70, I think that's what you're referring to, is head and shoulders above the BMW when it comes to the way it's put together. Now, that engine also has a great amount of power, the 2.5 liter. So what I encourage you to do is watch the videos we did of the X3. We've done an X3 video recently within the last year of the regular base model. And we also did the 2.5 liter Genesis GV70. And we also did the 3.5 with the bigger 6-cylinder. And this Saturday, we're going to have the X3 with the inline 6-cylinder. The M40 engine will be out on Saturday. So if you're talking base power, the GV70 has more power and torque, has a nicer interior. What it doesn't have is it doesn't have the badge appeal for some and the history. Can you get around that? Are you okay with that? Then maybe try it out. But yeah, I think on several metrics, it's a better vehicle. Jerome is saying, wait, Zach, about digital cockpits. Are you telling us they actually cost less to make? They charge you extra for them. Are we getting punked? Yes, we're getting punked because it's new technology. Anytime it's new technology, of course they charge more for it. But I'm here to tell you that the long-range cost prospects for digital screens is cheaper. Hey, Zach, digital cockpits are a gimmick. I'd be happy with analog. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think the digital cockpit, you get in and you go, oh, isn't that nice? He lights up. I hit sport and it goes, ooh, like this. But, you know, like, listen, after you've had it for a week or two, you set it to your preferences and then you forget about it. I want the little readout to know my fuel economy, you know, any maintenance I got to check or anything like that. That's the kind of stuff I want to know. But does it make any difference to me whether it has a digital speedometer and tachometer? No, it's just eye candy. That's all it is, in my opinion. I was thinking of trading in my 2010 Matrix 2.4 for a new Toyota. Yeah, why not? They don't make it anymore. The closest thing you can get to a Matrix now is the Corolla Cross. JD is saying, sometimes I wish you'd waited for the 2022 Mazda CX-50. Looks rugged and hot, but went with the 2021 CX-5 because last year a model and all bugs fixed rather than a brand new model. Yeah, there's a lot to be said for that. Getting a car that's been in the market for a while, you know, listen, there was one brand, I talked about the Consumer Reports study of the brands that index better than others for quality and others that don't do that well. You know, one brand that was really high on their list of vehicles because they don't have any new vehicles, they're just about to have a new one come now, is the Infiniti. So Infiniti, you think about the cars they've been selling basically the same cars forever. And that technology has proven to be quite reliable now. So they're going to have the new QX60, and we're going to get a chance to drive it in January. We've already got it booked in, so we'll do that when we can. But yeah, something that's old and been around a while typically is above average quality. Here's a perfect example. Another one from Nissan is the Pathfinder. The last gen Pathfinder had very high quality scores because it had been around for so long. The early versions of that with the CVT were plagued with problems, but to their credit, they've addressed them as they went along. And now those last gen Pathfinders, not a car I would want, but had high quality. Same thing for a vehicle like the Dodge Durango. The Dodge Durango, the existing car you can buy today, has incredibly high quality scores because it's been around. That basic platform and that engine and driveline has been around since 2009 when they brought out the last Grand Cherokee. So it's been around a long time. Last super chat, unless we get one last minute one here. What do you think about Toyota downsizing their V8 engines to V6 turbo on the Tundras and yeah, I think listen, it's been going on. Ford has no problem selling F-150s with the EcoBoost, right? If you look at what they've done with Tundra, they've copied Ford. Downsize the engines from V8s to twin turbocharged V6. Oh, who does that? Ford does that. Then make a hybrid available. Who does that? Ford does that. So if you think about it, it's already been done. They've had the EcoBoost in the Ford F-150 for, I don't know, how long has it been? Has it been 10 years? It's been close to 10 years. It's got to be pretty close to that. 8 years maybe. But those engines are really powerful, really efficient when not under load. And most people don't have their vehicle with a load in it. But when you do load them up, they can be thirsty. So that's the only thing I want to think about. All right, I just want to say that it is 1 hour. We've been doing this for an hour. Thanks to everybody that's been on board. Thank you to everybody for the super chats. It's always very nice of you and very generous of you, and I do appreciate it. And I don't get to everybody's question. I just can't do that. There's almost 400 people on board right now. So I can't get to everybody's question, but I do read them all after the fact. Don't forget to go to Car Cost Canada, sign up using the promo code MotorMouth, become an expert member, get those searches. You need any help you can looking for a brand new car, and that's the way to do it. If you're looking for a used car, canadadrives.ca. You go online, you can search for the car online, you can put in your credit application online, you get approved online, you check out your basket online, you do everything online, and then they deliver it in a really nice looking trailer to your house, often the next day. So that's kind of cool. So thanks to everybody for being on. We're all done now. I just want to let you know that we will be here next Sunday. The week after that, we have a Christmas function to go to. So in 2 weeks' time, there will be no live show, but we'll be back next week. All right? Have a great night, everybody. Take it easy.